Good morning. Welcome to Geography class of ISC class 11. Today we will start a new chapter, chapter 15, Marine Processes and Associated Landforms. Today we'll study from page number 226 to page number 239. Let us first see the objectives of the chapter. In this chapter, we will study about the nature and genesis of the sea waves, work of sea waves, erosional work of sea waves, features or landforms formed by erosional work of sea waves, depositional work of sea wave, and coastline. Let us first go through the technical terms that are coming in today's class. The first term is sea waves. The up and down movements of water in the sea are known as sea waves. Crest, the upper part of the wave, is called crest. Trough, the lower part of the wave, is called trough. The distance between two adjacent crests is known as wavelength. Wave height, the vertical distance between the crest and the trough is called the wave height. Swash, when a wave reaches the shore and water rushes up the beach, it is known as the swash. Backwash, the water of the sea that flows back towards the sea from the sea coast is known as backwash. Shore, a shore or a shoreline is a fringe of land at the edge of a large body of water such as ocean, sea or lake. Plunge, plunge means to move, fall or to be thrown suddenly forward or downward. Backshore, the zone of the shore or beach above the high water line acted upon only by severe storms or exceptionally high tides. It is the area immediately adjacent to a sea cliff. A sea cliff is a vertical wall or a vertical rock facing the sea. The beach above the high water or high tide mark, which is usually untouched by wave action. Foreshore, the foreshore, also called intertidal zone, is the zone between low tide and high tide on the shore. As you can see in this given diagram, the upper blue color shown in the sea is the foreshore. Hydraulic action, the force of the water causes the land to wear away or erode away. It is termed as hydraulic action. Abrasion, a wearing away by rubbing or scraping as of rock by wind, water or sea waves, etc. Attrition, the process in which the rocks that the sea is carrying knock against each other. They break apart to become smaller and more rounded. Solution, the process in which seawater dissolves certain types of rocks. Sea cliff, a sea cliff is a steep coastal slope created by the erosive power of waves at its base. Or we can see in this diagram that sea cliff is a rock facing the sea having vertical wall. Notch, a V-shaped indentation is called a notch. We can see in this given diagram that here the coastline is V-shaped, so it is a notch. Wave cut platform, a wide, gently sloping surface found at the base of the cliff and extends into the sea. The next term we have here is sea caves. A sea cave, also known as littoral cave, is a type of cave formed primarily by the wave action of the sea. Some of the largest wave-cut caves in the world are found on the coast of Norway but are now 100 feet or more above present sea level. Marine arches, an opening through a headland formed by wave erosion or solution which leaves a bridge of rock over the water, also known as sea arch or marine bridge. Stack, a pillar-like mass of rock detached by wave action from a cliff-lined shore and surrounded by water. In this diagram, you can see clearly that a pillar-like mass of rock is found in the coastal areas which is detached from the main cliff. Stumps, a stack that has been reduced to a short pillar is known as a stump. In this picture, you can see many stumps or short stack are standing in the sea water. Blowholes or spouting horn, a hole or fissure or narrow crack in rocks along a shore through which incoming waves force air to rush upward or water to spout intermittently. Intermittently means periodically, means at regular interval of time. Geo, a narrow inlet of sea water towards the land formed by constant erosion of sea coast by sea waves. Coves, a cove is a type of small sheltered bay or the coast of an ocean, lake or river. Sometimes coves are smaller inlets of larger bays or lagoons. A cove is a small type of bay or coastal inlet. Headland or cape or promontory. A cape is a headland or a promontory of large coastal land extending into a bay of water, usually the sea. Beach. A beach is a narrow, gently sloping strip of land that lies along the edge of an ocean, lake or river. The Juhu beach of Mumbai and the Marina beach of Chennai are famous beaches from India. Spit. A spit is an extended stretch of beach material that projects out to the sea and is joined to the mainland at one end. An example of spit is Spurn Head, found along the Holderness Sea in Humberside in United Kingdom. Bar. Bars are elongated ridges and mounds of sand or gravel deposited beyond a shoreline by currents and waves. Lagoon. A lagoon is a shallow body of water separated from a larger body of sea by reefs, barrier islands or a barrier peninsula. Lake Chilika, located in Odisha, is the largest lagoon in India. Have a long shallow lagoon separated from the open sea by a narrow sandbar or barrier beach. The Baltic coast of Germany has well-developed have. Dunes. A dune is a mound of sand or hill of sand that is formed by the wind, usually along the beach or in a desert. Coastline. The coast, also known as the coastline or shoreline, is defined as the area where land meets the ocean or sea, or as a line that forms the boundary between the land and the ocean or a lake. The earth has around 6,20,000 kilometers of coastline. Like India has a long coastline of 6,100 kilometers. Fjord or fjord. A fjord or fjord is a long, narrow inlet with steep sides or cliffs created by a glacier. The word fjords is of Norwegian origin. The coast of Norway provides typical examples of this type of coast. Ria coast. A ria coast is a coastline having several parallel rias. A ria is a former river valley submerged in the sea. The sea level change that caused the submergence of a river valley may be either eostatic, where global sea levels rise, or isostatic, where the local land sinks. Dalmatian coast, a type of coastline formed when the continental fold region is submerged, but its terrain or landform basically preserves its correspondence to the tectonic structures. It is characteristic of extended shorelines. The sea floods elongated valleys, and as a result, many bays and peninsulas take on a hammer-like form. This coast is the most important characteristic of eastern shore of the Adriatic Sea, Dalmatia, hence its name as Dalmatian coast. This compound coast is most characteristic of the eastern shore the of the Adriatic Sea. Two of the Dalmatia, previous classes hence combined name, for example, Dalmatian submergence coast, followed by emergence, or vice versa. Now children, let us start our today's topic. It is a well-known fact that the water in the ocean is never at rest. The tides, waves and the ocean currents contribute to the restlessness of the ocean water. Running water is active in humid climate, wind in desert land, glaciers in cold regions. So sea waves are the chief agent of gradation in the coastal areas. In fact, coastal topography is largely molded by the sea waves. The erosion work of the sea waves is followed by deposition, and in between these two activities may be put the work of transportation. Nature and genesis of the sea waves. It is necessary to understand the nature and genesis of sea waves before we study the work of sea waves as an agent of change. Sea waves are defined as undulations or unevenness of sea water characterized by well-developed crests and troughs. Crest the upper part of the wave is called crest. Trough, the lower part of the wave is called trough. The distance between two adjacent crests is known as wavelength. Wave height, the vertical distance between the crest and the trough is called the wave height. Most of the sea waves are caused by the friction of wind on the seawater. Once formed, the underlying actions can grow by direct pressure of the wind against the sides of the wave troughs. In deep
Some of
sea
the
water,
largest
there is no
wave-cut
progressive
caves
forward
in the world
motion
are found
of the water
on the coast
particles
of Norway,
in a wave.
but are now 100 feet or
Each
more
particle near the
above present
surface
sea level.
moves in a circular
Found
orbit along
as you
the
can see in this given diagram.
Holderness Sea, adjacent particles
in
being in different
Humberside
stages of their circulation
in United
course.
Kingdom.
On the crest of a wave, they
Lake
are
Chilika, located in
moving
Odisha,
forward.
is the
In a
largest
trough, they
lagoon
move
in
backward.
India.
It is clear from the movement of the water.
The Baltic coast
in a
of
wave
Germany
that
has
only the
well-developed
form of the wave
half.
move forward
Like
through the
India
water,
has
and
a long
water
coastline
itself
of
does not move
6100
forward or
kilometer.
backward. The coast of Norway provides typical examples of this type of coast.
This coast is the most important characteristic of
Eastern shore of the Adriatic Sea, Dalmatia, hence its name as Dalmatian coast. Compound coast. Such coastlines show the forms of two of the previous classes combined. For example, submergence followed by emergence or vice versa. Crest, the upper part of the wave is called crest. Trough, the lower part of the wave is called trough. The distance between two adjacent crests is known as wavelength. Wave height, the vertical distance between the crest and the trough is called the wave height. In deep sea water, there is no progressive forward motion of the water particles in a wave. Each particle near the surface moves in a circular orbit, as you can see in this given diagram, adjacent particles being in different stages of their circulation course. On the crest of a wave, they are moving forward. In a trough, they move backward. It is clear from the movement of the water in a wave that only the form of the wave move forward through the water, and water itself does not move forward or backward. So, in a wave, the water particles remain in their place, only the waves pass on. This is why a leaf or a ball or a cork floating in the sea remains in the same position while the waves passed away. As the waves reach the shallow water near the shore, they crowd together and their height increases. It means that when the sea waves reach near the coastal area, their heights start increasing. This is because the water at the bottom of the sea wave is held up by friction when it comes into contact with the seabed, while the water on the surface tends to travel forward more quickly. Since the crest moves ahead of the rest, it begins to curl over and tumble or break. When the water falls almost vertically and rushes shoreward in the form of turbulent forming water, it is called plunge. The water rushes up the beach as swash, carrying sand and gravel landward. When the swash stops, the water returns down the beach as backwash, sweeping sand and gravel back towards the sea. Now let us discuss the work of sea waves. Sea waves are very effective as an agent of gradation on the coast. It is important to understand some terms related to sea waves. The first term is coast. Coast is that part of the land which faces the sea. Shore. Shore is a part of the land that is in close contact with the sea. The place where the advancing sea waves reach is called backshore, and the area which remains permanently underwater is known as foreshore. The entire sea area which is made of continental slope is called offshore. Now we will discuss the erosional work of sea waves. The erosional work of sea waves depend upon some factors like the size and the strength of waves, seaward slope, height of the shore between low and high tides, the composition of rocks and the depth of the water. When the waves break along the seashore, it develops a considerable force. It has been estimated that such surface wave can exert pressure from 3000 to 30,000 kg per square meter. The sea waves are very effective in breaking the rocks when they are armed with loose rock fragments which act as a tool of the sea waves. The solvent and chemical action of wave is important in limestone and chalk areas as limestone or chalk easily dissolve in seawater. The sea wave operate as an agent of erosion in the following 4 ways.
Number 1, hydraulic action. Number 2, attrition. Number 3, abrasion or corrosion. And number 4, solution.
The first is hydraulic action. Hydraulic action involves the picking up of loose material like pebbles and rocks by waves and the shattering of rocks. The waves, as the sea waves crash against like giant water hammers against the cliff. Abrasion. When the sea waves armed with rock fragments hurl themselves against the cliff and cooperating with current drag them to and fro across the rocks of the foreshore, it is called abrasion. Attrition. The rock fragments or tools of the waves strike against each other and are reduced in size. This action is called attrition. In this way, the rocks become more rounded in shape. Solution. The solvent rocks such as limestone, dolomite and chalk are dissolved by the solution action of sea waves. Now let us study the features formed by erosional work of sea waves. The first feature formed by the sea waves is sea cliff. A scarp face, scarp means very steep slope. A scarp face of the coast facing the sea is known as sea cliff. As we have already discussed that a sea cliff is a vertical rock facing the sea. In the beginning, the sea waves cut a groove in the rock at the sea level, which is known as notch. This notch keeps on widening with the passage of time. It thus undermines the overhanging rock until it falls into the sea and a cliff is formed. Sea cliffs keep on receding towards the land under the attack of sea waves. Several sea cliffs are found on the western coast of India along the Arabian Sea. The form of the cliff is also greatly affected by the stratification or layering and jointing of the rocks, for it is along the planes of bedding and along the joints that rocks usually breaks more readily. If the beds dip seawards and the joints landwards, large blocks of rock will easily be detached and will fall upon the beach, and the cliff will rise in a series of overhanging steps.
In India, a large number of sea cliffs are found along the Konkan coast, that is, along the Maharashtra coast.
If the seabeds dip steeply seawards, the blocks slip down the bedding planes, which may form a smooth cliff face very resistant to wave erosion, as this part will be made up of hard rocks, which is very tough and resistant.
So, it cannot be eroded or cut by sea waves.
Wave cut platform. As the cliff retreats further by the erosional work of the waves, a wave cut platform is produced. This is known as terrace. Sea cave. Sea waves can erode soft rocks much faster than hard rocks. At several places, rocks are traversed by joints, faults, fractures, or bands of weak rocks. Sea waves easily erode these weak points, leading to the formation of sea caves. It is necessary that the overhanging rocks should be strong enough to stand without much support from the below. Marine arches or natural bridges. Marine arches or natural bridges are formed when the sea waves walking from opposite side are able to cut through the caves. Stack. When the roof of a marine arch collapses or fall down, a portion of the arch keeps standing in the sea like a pillar. This is known as stack. Stumps. Stacks are not stable. Waves keep on eroding the stacks, as a result of which their upper portion collapses or fall down. Thus, stacks are reduced in size and are known as stumps. Some stumps are even below the sea level. Blowholes or spouting horn. If a hole is developed in the roof of a sea cave, it is also known as blowhole or spouting horn. When the seawater enters the sea cave, the air of the cave is pressed by the seawater and the air passes through the hole with a noise. Spouting horn is the name given because of the voice the blowholes make. Geo. It is also called Gia. The word Gia derived from Norse Gia, which means a crack. This is formed as a result of constant erosion by the waves. The sea caves are elongated and they advance towards the land. The number of blowholes increases. With the passage of time, the roof of the cave, having a large number of blowholes, becomes weak and gives way. Thus, a narrow inlet is formed, which is known as geo
or Gia.
Coves. Often hard and soft rocks are arranged parallel to each other along the coast. The sea waves widen the joints in the hard rocks by the erosional work and start eroding the soft rocks behind them. Consequently, several small gulfs are formed at the coast. These small gulfs are called coves. Inlets or creeks and bays. When hard rocks
and soft rocks are alternately arranged
in a direction almost perpendicular to the coast, the soft rocks are eroded more quickly than the hard rocks. Due to the erosion of the soft rocks, long and narrow inlets are formed, which are known as creeks. With the passage of time, these creeks are widened and deepened to become bays. We have the example as the Hudson Bay. Headland or cape or promontory. When the soft rock surrounding the hard rock along the sea coast is eroded, the hard rock stands out in the sea much ahead of its surrounding. This elongated sea coast towards the ocean or sea is known as headland or cape or promontory. Now let us study the transportation work by sea waves. The material lying on the sea coast is transported by sea waves. This work is carried out in the following two ways. The first is removal and transportation towards the sea of the material deposited by rivers, glaciers, or wind on the sea coast. And the second is carrying of material found in the sea to the coastal areas. During this process, the oceanic materials like pearls, conches, and other shells are brought to the sea coast. The transportation by sea waves is responsible for the oceanward transportation of the material deposited in the sea coast and coastward transportation of the material found in the sea. Next we have depositional work of the sea waves. Sea waves deposit the load material, as a result of which following features are formed. The first feature formed by the depositional work of sea waves is beach. A beach is formed due to the deposition of sand, gravel, and pebbles on the shore between low tide level and the coastline. A beach grows in size when waves are less active, but it may be completely destroyed by strong waves in a storm or cyclones. Spit. Spit is a ridge or embankment or a wall of sediments deposited by the waves and attached to the land at one end and projecting into the open sea at the other. It is formed when the waves deposit the rock material or rock waste tangentially to the headland. Bar. A bar is a sort of embankment or wall of sand and gravel built by the depositional work of sea waves. It normally extends between two adjoining headlands of hard rocks, or it runs roughly parallel to the shoreline. Lagoon or haff. When bars further extend, the sea water is partially enclosed between the coast and the bar, which is known as lagoon, lake, or haff. A lagoon generally maintains connection with the open sea through a narrow gap between the bar and the headlands. The Chilika Lake and the Pulicat Lake along the east coast and
Vembanad Lake in the west coast are the important lagoons in India. Lake Chilika is the largest lagoon of India, whereas Vembanad in Kerala is the longest lagoon in India. Vembanad is also the largest lagoon in Kerala.
Dunes. Sand dunes of various size occur in coastal areas in many parts of the world. Sand carried by the sea waves is deposited along the coast and sand dunes are formed. Some sand, washed by the sea waves, are blown by winds and is deposited to form sand dunes. Such dunes gradually migrate inland. Occurrence of large tracts of unconsolidated or loose sand and strong onshore winds favor the formation of dunes along the coast.
Large number of sand dunes can be seen along the western coast of India and even the eastern coast of India.
Sand dunes are also seen at several places along the eastern and western coast of India. If the dune belt approaches the coast closely, the harbour suffers a great loss. In order to stabilize the sand dunes and to save the harbour from their encroachment, grass is coast and the roots of the grass hold the particles of the sand
different types of
strongly
coast
and check
and
the
coastline.
onward march of the
The boundary
dunes.
between the coast and the shore is known as coastline. This marks the seaward limit of the coast. Coastlines are of two types: submerged coastline and coastlines of emergence. Submerged coastline are of two types: submerged upland coast and submerged lowland coast. Now children, let us study about submerged upland coast. Submerged upland coasts are formed either due to subsidence of upland or by rise in the sea level. There are several types of submerged upland coast. The first is fjord coast. Fjord coasts have been formed due to partial submergence of a glaciated area of high relief. These coasts have long, narrow and deep inlets whose sides are very steep, as you can see in this given picture. There are often small islands at the mouth of the fjords which were once outlying hills. The word fjords is the coast of Norway provides typical examples of such type of coast. Other important examples of fjord coast are those of South Chile, Greenland, Alaska and New Zealand. Ria coast. Ria coasts are formed by the partial submergence of river valleys which are not affected by glaciers. The sides of these valleys have gentle slopes and their depth gradually increases towards the sea. The valleys and ridges are almost perpendicular to the coast. There are generally no islands along the mouths of the rias. The coast of southwest Ireland is a typical example of Ria coast. Dalmatian coast. Dalmatian coast are developed due to the submergence of mountain ridges running parallel to the sea coast. Here we can take the example of the Andes mountain of South America.
Are developed due to the submergence of mountain ridges running parallel to the sea coast.
Here we can take the example of the Andes mountain of South America.
The lower portions are submerged in the sea, whereas the higher ridges keep standing above the sea level, giving rise to several islands parallel to the coast. The Dalmatian coast of Yugoslavia is the best example from which it derived its name. Now let us study about the submerged lowland coast. These coasts are formed due to submergence of lowlands. Such coasts are normally free from indentations.
It means that they have smooth coastline.
These coasts are characterized by a series of bars running parallel to the coast enclosing lagoons.
The Baltic coast of Europe is an example of the submerged lowland coast. Coastline of emergence. These coasts are formed either by uplift of the land or by the lowering of the level of the sea. This type of coast has bars, spits, lagoons, salt marshes, beaches, sea cliffs and arches. You can see all these together in this given diagram. The east coast of India, especially its southeastern coast, that is the Tamil Nadu coast, is a type of coast of emergence. The west coast of India, on the other hand, is both emergent and submergent coast. The northern portion of the coast has emerged as a result of faulting, and the southern portion, especially the Kerala coast, is an example of emergent coast. Such coasts that have undergone both submergence and emergence are called compound coast. So children, with this we have completed our chapter. Hope that you have understood today's topic nicely. Now let us see the objectives we have studied in today's chapter. In today's chapter, we have studied about the nature and genesis of sea waves, work of sea waves, erosional work of sea waves, features formed by erosional work of sea waves, depositional work of sea waves, and coast and coastline. Now, it's a time for you to take your homework. You have to mark and learn exercise second, question 1 to 4, exercise third, all 3 questions. Read page number 226 to page number 239. Children, you also have to write the answers of the following questions in your copy. The first question is, what is a wave? How do water particles move in a sea wave? Illustrate your answer with the help of a diagram. Next question is, discuss the formation of sea cliff and explain how the structure of the coastal rocks affect the formation of sea cliff. Third, explain how the erosional work of the sea waves bring about changes in the coast. Fourth, discuss the main features formed by depositional work of the sea waves. And the last question is, describe various forms of coastline and give a brief account of the coastline of India. You must see the YouTube link given in your homework. We will very soon meet in the next video with a new topic. Take care of yourself. Keep studying, keep exploring. Now it's the time to say goodbye. Thank you.